to go to YouTube.
I'll spotlight you now, Ju.
Hi, my name's Ju Gosling, also known as the artist Ju90. I'm the artistic director of Together 2012, and I'm here to welcome you this evening. Just checking back with my technical team, I can still see on my own screen quite a lot of people on camera at the top of the screen who I think should have their videos switched off by now. So I'm going to leave that with Act Up and Josh to sort out, and look forward to seeing your faces again at 7 o'clock. And in my studio in East London, I am just seeing the screens go blank now, leaving me with the happy task of welcoming you all in this evening. This is the 9th Together Disability History Month Festival, and when it started, it was just supposed to be a one-off for 2012. We were a project originally led by volunteers on behalf of the UK Disabled People's Council, and that, many people may remember, was originally called the British Council of Disabled People, or also known probably more commonly as BCODP. And BCODP, which trips off the tongue when you've got used to it, was the very first umbrella body to bring together organisations led by disabled people, not organisations set up for disabled people by non-disabled people who thought they knew what was best for us. So BCODP was really revolutionary. Unfortunately, by 2013, 2014, like so many other disabled people's organisations, it had been hit by austerity. Also, it has to be said, later by the death of George Michael, because George Michael very secretly funded a great number of disabled-led organisations through his own personal charity, the Platinum Trust. So by the time UK DPC, as it then was, moved to Stratford around 2010, most of the funding had already disappeared. As we know today, the organisations run by non-disabled people still have a great deal more funding than the organisations led by them. But anyway, they'd moved to Stratford, they had an office in the Advice Arcade, and BCODP, UK DPC were very keen that people in Newham had an opportunity to engage with the Paralympics. And lots of plans were being cooked up around 2010 by the late David Morris. David Morris, many people have heard of but have never actually met him, but he was really the most important disabled person in the whole of the arrangements for London 2012. He was the mayor's disability advisor, so he served under Ken Livingstone. Boris Johnson didn't really feel he needed advice, so nothing's changed there. So Boris sent David over to Canary Wharf to what was then known as LOCOG, the London Organising Committee of the Games. And at LOCOG, David felt that the Paralympics in particular had the opportunity to really transform disabled people's lives in East London and beyond. And he headhunted me, and he headhunted our chair, Julie Newman, prior to his very sudden and unfortunate death in 2010. The reason he headhunted us was our chair, Julie Newman, was then chair of the UK Disabled People's Council, first when it was in Derby and then when it moved to Stratford. And I, in a different role, was a member of UK DPC. And that role was as co-chair of Regard. Regard is the national LGBTQI plus disabled people's organisation. That's been going since 1989, the same year that Stonewall was founded. And Regard, as a member of UK DPC, wanted to help, and because I was an artist, I ended up volunteering to lead this one-off project on my doorstep. And of course, we had assumed, as I think a lot of people assumed, that legacy money would very much be invested in East London. Sadly, that hasn't happened. Some audience members may have heard of the Unlimited Fund, which was the main Paralympic cultural legacy fund. Not a penny of that has come to artists or companies in Newham, despite the fact that in 2012 and continuing, our adult population has the lowest level of cultural engagement in the UK. Even residents of very rural, remote areas access more theatre, cinema, dance, and a whole range, any other art form you can think of. They all have more opportunities than we do. So, really, the reason that disabled residents ourselves decided to set up Together 2012 CIC and take things forward was, as we think of it, DIY, knit your own legacy. I've often wanted to get the word legacy knitted and up in an office. And one day, when we finally have our planned new art centre, the David Morris Cultural Centre, I'm absolutely sure that is going to happen in my very own office. And of course, with such fantastic news about vaccination this month, it won't be so long until we're all back in, perhaps not the kind of offices that people went to before, but as you can imagine, Together has never run that kind of office. So back in 2012, originally, as you can imagine, our festival was going to be based around the 2 weeks of the Paralympics, which was the end of August into September. But unfortunately, we lost our venue, which sounds very careless, doesn't it? We keep losing venues. But in fact, what happened was we had our own plans. We felt Memorial Park in West Ham was a very good venue for all sorts of reasons. But the council, in their wisdom, decided that they would invest in a project called London Pleasure Gardens down next to Excel, which of course was also an Olympic and Paralympic venue. Not being the best at investing in the world, which is the kindest thing I can say about Newham Council's investment record, the venue went bust during the Olympics. So at that point, we had to look around and decide what we would do instead. And everybody rallied round. We put on performances in the middle of Stratford at St John's Church and in the churchyard. We turned the Advice Arcade into UK DPC House so we could entertain visitors. But there was a range of things, including the film festival, as it happened, that we just felt actually there isn't enough time to advertise this to people that venues have changed. It really would be better if we try and postpone some of it. And the other reason we did that was Disability History Month was very new, but we could see that it was a very important month, something very important to support. And also the Disabled Reps Forum with Sarifa Patel and Christine Doliak had made wonderful efforts already back in 2011 and 2010 to celebrate the then brand new Disability History Month. So we rescheduled about half of the events and continued the pattern, well, set the pattern up that has continued to this day, where we have additional activities in the summer and a big festival in Disability History Month. But it got to January 2013, and then people said to us, actually, we'd love you to carry on. And we thought, well, we could probably run a festival once a year without changing things too much in life. And they said, no, what we want are year-round activities. And that is how our club's programme was born. What people said to us, and I think lots of people have said it since, is so much funding goes to projects. You spend a week, you spend a month, you spend 6 months, you spend a year, you spend 3 years, and then everything comes to an end. Just a little bit of information for our company for later. Grace, Fundu, Glory, Sango, you need to turn your cameras off. You've switched them back on by mistake. Don't worry, you'll still be able to see everything here, but we won't then be able to see you. So Grace, Fundu, Glory, Sango, if you'd just like to pop your cameras back up again. And then I will have the camera to myself. Isn't that wonderful? not really what I ever intended, nor did I ever intend to help set up Together 2012. But of course, when people said it, we could see that it was a really good idea. And so here we are at our 9th Disability History Month Festival. Tonight, I am particularly looking forward to because it's starring my favourite theatre company in the entire world, and they happen to be based in Newham. So, ACT Up Newham is an inclusive theatre company. It's also a training company. Most of the participants identify as disabled people, and the company who have contributed to tonight's work, Los Inseparables from Chile, are a company led by and for people with learning difficulties. So, two slightly different companies, not just coming together from different nationalities and different continents. Although, of course, our very clever ACT Uppers, most of them speak at least 2 languages too. So we're going to be able to see them later. I've just seen a little message about whether people can be seen or not. So apparently I can see people that other people can't. Pritesh Patel, if you can hear me, then come back to your computer. But I'm sure he will be. So don't worry. This is going to be yes. And there is Pritesh. He's switched his camera back on. I knew he could do that. But you can switch your microphone off again, Pritesh, because we don't want the audience to hear you in advance. We want them to be waiting with bated breath, which I'm sure they are. You're going to hear much, much more about I Am Toni once we start. So let me tell you about some of the other events that are on in the coming weeks. This is already week 3 of the festival. So we have a range of activities already open for you to enjoy. First, we have 4 exhibitions, which is the most exhibitions that we have ever had at the festival. So I'll start, of course, with our very own Together Open exhibition. This is, again, an exhibition that we've been running since 2012. What makes it particularly unusual is that everybody with a Newham connection who identifies as having a disability or long-term health condition can submit one piece for entry. And as long as it's family friendly and thus fit to show, we accept it. We don't have a selection process. So what we have is a really wonderful, vibrant selection of work by amateur artists, community artists, semi-professional artists, professional artists, aspiring professional artists, and you would really never know who had done what. It is a smaller exhibition this year because many of the Newham groups that contribute to it haven't actually been able to meet since February, but it's still a representative exhibition and includes, for example, work by Pritesh Patel and Stera Plurger, who you are both going to see later in I Am Toni. Then we have an exhibition by a group of artists with learning difficulties that we've worked with through the film festival for many years. And those are the Shadowlight artists who are part of Film Oxford. Shadowlight artists have created a fantastic multimedia exhibition with paintings and films. Most of it, very ambitiously, was due to be shown live in Oxford, and some of it indeed is being shown live in Oxford next month. But the exhibition that we're showing, Luminous, is a complete exhibition of the paintings in a virtual gallery. So it's a really, really interesting experience. You can go around as if you were in a gallery environment. And similarly, you can do the same thing with Ali Z's The Starving Artist. The other thing about Ali's exhibition is we had an event with Ali last Tuesday where the two of us were in discussion about eating disorders, images and stereotypes of starving artists, how that actually fed into food poverty and eating disorders, and of course about Ali's beautiful, although quite hard-hitting paintings. So There's a live recording of that up, so you're able to look at that. There's also an interview that was carried out by Hazel Brill, who's an international artist, but also leads on our youth work. And then finally, in terms of the exhibitions, we have Justin Edgar's Reasonable Adjustment. And that is an entire multimedia exhibition. The Ali Z exhibition, as with the Luminous exhibition, you go all the way around a digital gallery. With Justin's, there's a website with pictures, stories, films, and we're going to be talking about both those exhibitions, Luminous and Reasonable Adjustment, in events as part of our film festival, which starts next week. Can hardly believe it myself. But before that, this Thursday, we have the return of the Together Pop-Up Poetry Cafe. The Pop-Up Poetry Cafe is a very successful project. We used to have an actual cafe once a month funded by People's Health Trust, to whom we continue to be very grateful. Once that funding ran out, we had to suspend the cafe temporarily. But the beauty of Zoom is you have to pay for your own food and drink. So we've brought back the cafe, no expense spared. We still have BSL and Palantype. That is going to be streaming to Zoom, streaming to YouTube from Zoom. We're not booking tickets as part of the webinar in the way that we've done for tonight's event, but if you're a poet who wants to read a poem at the cafe, then please do get in touch and we will give you a Zoom ticket to participate. We're planning a bit of an after party. I'm afraid that won't be streamed, but it does mean that the poets on the Zoom will be able to spend some time together, tell more stories, read more poems, play a bit of music, and we'll switch it off at some point, but not till everybody has really just about enjoyed themselves and had enough. So that's Thursday, where the Pop-Up Poetry Cafe play host to poets from Survivors Poetry. So we're going to have some regular people, we're going to have regular members of Together, we're going to have some survivors. If anybody else needs to, so I'm just looking at the live chat, but yes, if anybody else is neither associated with Together nor Survivors, but you'd like to know more about our poetry events, then either watch us on YouTube, or if you feel like sharing a poem, then please do get in touch. My email should be up, but it's due@together2012.org.uk. That's the return of the Pop-Up Poetry Cafe. 7 o'clock this Thursday, streaming on YouTube till 8 and continuing into the small hours. Pritesh Patel, I think you've put your microphone on by mistake if you want to switch it off again. Wonderful. So you can also contact Together. Josh has put it up in the live chat with info@together2012.org.uk. If anybody is watching this and thinking, I'm not seeing what everybody else is seeing, it's best viewed with the latest version of Zoom. There's a link in the live chat which will take you straight to an update. Unfortunately, in order to view the BSL and the captions, you do need to be using a computer or a laptop, because Pritesh, you've knocked your microphone on by mistake again. If you just want to pop that off, brilliant. So yes, I'm just reading this. The facility we're using in order to show the BSL and the captions is not available on absolutely everything. I think you can get the captions, and to do that you go down to the bottom and click on CC. So our live captions and our BSL will start at 7 o'clock, and at that point I will be introducing you to the company and telling you a few little housekeeping details. But before then, also coming up this week, we have on Saturday the third of our family activities. So the family activities that we already have available are really interesting and diverse. The first is from a company called Collar and Cuffs. And it's a downloadable resource to use at home called Strings and Things. And this is suitable for any family, but particularly with young children or people with profound and multiple disabilities, because it explains concepts like lockdown just using simple household items like a ball of string. And there's 5 stories. So effectively, it's a storytelling kit, but the stories also incorporate themes of lockdown, being trapped, moving away, being free. So really, really interesting, clever stuff. And Julia Collar, who runs Collar and Coughs, is a disabled person and the mother of a disabled child. So she really is a fantastic storyteller. And then last Saturday, we released our paper Fingers and Finger Puppets Paper Puppets. No, that can't be right, can it? I think it's called something like Scruffy Puppets with Paper. But anyway, they're scruffy puppets, which I think is kind of almost guaranteed if I was making them. You can make them just with paper and a little bit of tape, not such sharp scissors. We always say family friendly scissors. And Hazel has just got an incredible imagination. So she's able to make the simplest and most inclusive of activities just have endless possibilities, only limited by your imagination. So that's Scruffy Paper Finger Puppets with Hazel Brill. That's there as a downloadable video workshop, or you can just watch it online. And the idea of it being a video workshop is that you're able to do that workshop at your own pace. Again, it's suitable for any age and it's suitable for families to do together. And then coming up this Saturday, we have Sahira Khan in The Cockerel and the Fox. And this is a very exciting new video performance that's also been funded by, oh, no, I've forgotten exactly who it's also been funded by, but we're very fortunate that it has also been subsidised. So she's been able to pre-record the video, and then Sahira will be talking about her career as an actor and TV presenter. Sahira is a real up-and-coming star. She was born and brought up in Newham. She's now based in Tower Hamlets. She's a regular on BSL Zone. She has her own YouTube channel. She's a sign poet. She's also writes poetry in English. I don't think there's anything that Sahira doesn't do, but I'm sure this is going to be something different again. So it's The Cockerel and the Fox. The story's in British Sign Language with interpretation and voiceover. And then we have BSL interpretation for everybody to ask Sahira questions. How did she train? What's she done? What plans has she's got? I've just accepted a film that she's directed into the film festival. So I think whatever your interest in the arts, asking Sahira some questions about her career should be very interesting indeed. And of course, if you're familiar with some of our COVID-19 resources, you will have seen our longer film, and there's also 9 short films from it called WhatsApp Auntie. And we made that with Sahira back in August when we discovered with less than 24 hours notice that the government wanted us to pilot the NHS COVID-19 app and hadn't really produced a single accessible or inclusive resource to enable us to do that. So we created our own. As you can tell if you've been listening to the story of Together since 6:30, we are very much a do-it-yourself, if nobody else is going to do it, kind of organisation. But anyway, I can see we have just 3 minutes to go. We've got 27 people in the house now, and I don't know how many watching on YouTube. We've got a few more to come. I think the company should all be getting ready now, which is absolutely wonderful. So in just 3 minutes, I will be introducing everybody, doing a bit of housekeeping when we have the live captions and the BSL up and running. So it just remains for me to explain any event that you want to book. I mean, you will know this already if you're joining us on Zoom, but possibly not if you're watching us on the website or on our YouTube channel. You can just book a ticket via Eventbrite to join in, or every time we have an event, we live stream directly to the festival program page, directly to the event page, and directly to YouTube. So you can always join one of our events without booking a ticket. If you do book a ticket, we don't hold your data, but like I say, you have better access to the captions, you have access to the BSL interpretation, and most importantly of all, you have access to interacting with the actors. Everything we're doing is genuinely live and offers more than one opportunity for the audience to interact. So what we're going to be doing later, and Hannah will explain it all at the beginning, is we will be moving over to live chat questions and answers. If you haven't got live chat up on your Zoom, if you go to view, which is usually, but not always, depending on which version of Zoom you've got, on the top left hand of your screen, you should be able to go to show live chat. And once you've got that chat up, you'll be able to type into boxes and ask questions. So save those questions to the end, but you can always start typing them straight away if it makes you think of something. So we've got less than 1 minute to go. I think at this point, I should probably just ask our technician to pop Chris, our interpreter, on the screen, ready to go. Wonderful. So I think everything inevitably in terms of time delay will be slightly later on YouTube, but it is now exactly 7 o'clock by my computer. So I'm going to formally first start by introducing our sign language interpreter, Chris Burrow, and just checking again, if you can't see the interpreter, but you're on Zoom, then it may be that you need to update to Zoom and look in the live chat box. There is a link, and I think our record has been being able to update it in about 2.5 minutes. There's also closed captions available. You can go to those by clicking on CC. That again is usually, but not always, at the bottom of the screen. Our captions tonight, as always, are brought to you by Global Real-Time Captioning. And if anybody wants those details, just drop me a line. I'm due at together2012.org.uk. So I've been talking for quite some time, but I'm about to start handing over to other people. For those who have just joined us, Act Up Newham is our associate drama company. They're an inclusive theatre company. Most of the members identify as disabled people. Los Inseparables from Chile, who we'll be working with as well, is a company by and for people with learning difficulties. But again, you'll hear a great more about that in a minute. I realised I hadn't done any audio description yet, so just looking at myself in the monitor to remember what I've got on. I wasn't able to wear anything from Chile because so far I have never visited and nobody has brought me back a present. But I do have a South American Ecuadorian sombrero on. Looks more like a pork pie hat really, but it is genuinely from South America. And I also have a Venezuelan necklace, which is a hematite necklace with a little turtle on it. I've got a white t-shirt with our Together logo, and I have green eyes, light olive skin, and under my sombrero I have a self-styled hennaed corona crop, so you can imagine I was delighted to have the excuse to wear the hat tonight. I think that should be just about everything. I don't need to tell you where the fire exits are, so that's another huge relief. You have your own refreshments. So if everybody is comfortable and the act uppers are ready, I'm going to ask my assistant, Josh, for whom also great thanks, and thanks in advance to our funders. Arts Council England and National Lottery Community Fund and Emergency Fund, and to remove me and introduce Hannah Facey. Hannah Facey is the coordinator of ACT UP Newham, and she's going to be leading on the presentation tonight. So welcome, Hannah. Hannah, you haven't got your mic working.
Hello, thank you, Ju. So, I Am Toni is a collaboration between Los Inseparables in Chile and ACT UP Newham in Newham, London. So before I take you to the ACT UPers to tell you a little bit more about the process, we've got an introduction film to introduce the people from Los Inseparables and to show you more of what we've been doing. So if we could have that now.
It's coming. Technical struggles. 1 second.
We were working online before the lockdown.
ACT UP. We're working with a theatre company
In Chile, Los Inseparables.
Mi nombre es Ricardo.
Carolina.
Speak Spanish.
We love work with them.
Crazy. Paisa.
We sent them ideas on the computer.
Take a look what we have done.
We show you. La rosa con el clavel hicieron un juramento y pusieron de testigo a un jazmín y un pensamiento. ¡Eso es, compadre! ¡Ay!
La rosa con el clavel, mi vida hicieron un juramento, mi vida hicieron un juramento, mi vida y pusieron de testigo, mi vida un jazmín, un pensamiento, mi vida la rosa con el clavel.
Am I spotlighted? So we now have different ACT UPers to come and do very short presentations about different aspects of the process of how we created I Am Toni with Los Inseparables in Chile. So first up, we have Pritesh Patel coming to tell us all about who we worked with and how we got to know them. So can you introduce yourself?
My name is Pritesh.
Yeah, Pritesh. I'm Pritesh. So we worked with a theatre company, Los Inseparables, for this project. So where were they from?
Chile.
They were from Chile. And what do they do differently to us? They
Speak
speak, what do they speak?
Spanish.
They speak Spanish. And how did we get to know them when we first met them?
Names.
So we sent them our names, and but we couldn't go to Chile to tell them our names because they're too far away. So how did we tell them our names? What did we send them?
Film.
So we sent them films of our names. And what else did they send us?
Postcard.
So they sent us postcards, and I think we have a picture of the postcard. Yes, so here is the postcard they sent us with their ideas of what London was like. And then we have coming up a picture of another postcard that we sent to them, which was all the ACT UP's ideas about what Chile was like. And what else did they show us to do, Pritesh, when we were getting to know them? They showed us
Warm up.
They sent us films of doing warm-ups and we learnt them, and then we sent them films of our warm-ups. And Pritesh, what was your favorite warm-up?
Foreign ball.
Your favorite warm-up was one they taught us about pretending to throw a ball to each other, is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Pritesh. So next up, we have Glory coming to tell us about how we exchanged ideas with Los Inseparables so that we could come up with ideas for our show. So can we have Glory Spotlight? Hello.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen at home. My name's Glory.
Great. So Glory, what
Yes.
did ACT UP and Los Inseparables send to each other so that we could think of ideas?
Photos.
So we sent photos, and I think we have an example coming up. And so Glory, what were we doing in these photos?
We were standing still and posing and acting.
Great. So we were acting, we'd act out a scene, and then we'd stand still in a freeze and send it to them. And then this is an example of one that they sent back to us that we used to get ideas from.
Yes.
Yeah. And what did we do with the photos?
We sent a picture back and we were thinking what they were saying.
Yeah. So we would look at the picture and we would say, you're right, Glory, what they'd be saying. And you can see on this picture, the speech bubbles that we added to them to think of, to help get ideas for a scene from the photos.
Yes.
If we can have the photo away. What else did they send us, Glory?
Lines.
They sent us lines. And what language were the lines in?
Spanish.
They sent us lines in Spanish, and we sent back lines in English. So if we have that coming up.
Yes.
They
was.
And what else? What did they ask us? Can you tell us, Glory? What did they ask us?
Questions.
They asked us questions.
They asked us questions and we answered the questions.
Yes, great. And is there anything else they sent us?
Yes, they sent us noises.
Uh-huh. And what did we do with the noises?
We sent the noises back.
Great. So they sent us recordings of themselves doing noises, and we sent recordings back. Thanks, Glory. So that's all the different ways that we were exchanging ideas. And next up, I'm going to move, and we have Stera to tell us about what did we do with these ideas. So can you introduce yourself? I'm Stera. And what did we make with the ideas? We made a character. And what was he called?
Okay.
So we made a character called Toni. And how did we use the ideas that Los Inseparables sent us? We made a script and a story. Made a script and a story. And what did we use? What do we make out of that? Made a film. Great. And what else did we make? We all made paintings. We have a photo of us. We have a photo coming up. So here, what are we doing? We're doing our paintings. We're using the film. And another one. And what did you, Sarah, make yourself for the project? As well as paintings, I made a poem. You made a poem. And what was that poem about? And here is more examples of this painting. So you made a poem. What was your poem about? The character Toni was angry and fighting. He was angry about the fighting. He was really angry about it at a party. So Sarah made a poem about the character very angry about a fight at a party. Thank you very much, Sarah. And now we'll pass over to Grace Fundu to tell us more about how we devised the story from the things that we made and the ideas that were sent to us. So can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Grace Fundle.
Hi, Grace. So can you tell us, how did we start creating the story of Toni?
How we created Toni was we had to plan it out, and also we just had to draw out the person, and we had to think about what he likes, what he doesn't like, the type of character he is, what he looks like as in the person.
Great, thanks. And I think we have a photo of that coming up. Here is what Grace is telling us about how we made the character of Toni. And so once we thought of Toni's personality, what he likes, what he didn't like, how did we go on to create the story of his life?
How we create the story of his life is we had to write down the patterns of his life. So from when he was a teenager and from when he was an adult, and then from there we had to pick the pictures to act it out to see where it can fit.
Great. So we used the pictures that Los Inseparables sent us, and we sent them to fit in with different parts of his life.
Yeah.
Can we get rid of the photo? That's okay. And so as part of working out the story of his life, you wrote a letter. Who did you write a letter to, and what was it about?
The letter was about Toni's mum, and basically what the letter was about was the fact that he was doing bad, and like he was smoking, drinking, and he was telling his mum on the letter that, you know, he regretted for what he was doing in the past, and he wanted to change and become a better person.
So a lot of the story that we explore is the struggle between good and bad. So how did we show this struggle in the story, the struggle between good and bad?
So basically we did a movement of Queka. So Queka is an international dance. It's from Chile, and basically we used that movement to create Toni's life, to see which direction he will go, good or bad.
Great, thanks. So we have now our Jagni to come and tell us about the process of actually making the film. If you just want to unmute yourself.
Hello, my name is Awa, and I'm going to tell you about the funny of this.
Great. So who filmed the project?
We did.
So all of you filmed the project, and how was it?
Well, it was challenging because we do show for days, so it was challenging.
Yeah, so it was challenging. So what was the most challenging thing about it?
Thinking.
Ow! So using the green screen, can we have a photo of that, I
Yes.
think? So what was challenging about using the green screen?
By using the thing, you had to stand in the middle of the thing because if you come at the end of the thing, your arm will be shut off.
Yeah, so we had to be careful that we didn't lean out and get our arm chopped off in the film. So what did we learn in particular?
We learn a lot of shots. And we use them to cut out cardboard.
Can
And
we have a picture of that?
we labeled them.
So we cut out pieces of cardboard and labeled them in order to learn the shots.
Yes.
Great. Do we have a picture of the shots coming up? Here's what Ara is talking about, us working up the shots using cardboard. And I think we have one more. And how did we put the actors? Oh. And here is the other example of us using the cardboard to work out the shots. Thanks. So we had actors from Los Inseparables in Chile.
Yes.
So how did we make sure that they were part of our film as well?
We print the pictures out of them and we use them in the puppets.
Yeah, puppets.
Puppets.
Great, thank you. So next up, we would have had Paiza Malik telling us about how we edited the film. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here today, but she has written what she would have said, so I'm going to tell you. Paiza said, we finished the film with a final editing. We edited all together in a group and we put the computer on a big screen so that we could all see what we were doing. So can we have the photo of that? She says, we had to present the film very clearly and precisely to show the life of Toni. We looked at the sequence of the film and picked the best shots. We had to show the theme and relevant parts of Toni's life. And we had to add the appropriate music, dancers, and background, which was suitable for our green screen. So thanks for that, Paiza. And if I could have the act uppers on the screen so that we can introduce the film. So, Glory, if you, so I think Glory's going to introduce for us.
Hello, my name's Glory.
You say ladies.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Your hand ready, bro?
I am Toni.
Oh, Toni. Toni. This is me.
Totally wet arses.
No.
Tiny man, some blue jumper.
Ooh.
Tiny add that shoes on there.
Can I go?
Wait! You don't have on any clothes.
Woo!
Totally red trousers.
This is me. What I like.
Didn't like holiday.
I don't know. I like holiday.
Do you like Easter?
I like pizza.
Didn't like parties.
I like party.
I dare you. Yes, tonight I'm in the mood.
Do you like faggots?
I don't like science.
Didn't like fighting.
I don't like party. This is me. I am Toni.
told you.
Stop smoking.
Don't get involved in gun crime.
No knife.
No knives.
No more drugs.
No more drugs.
¿Qué pasa aquí?
What's going on?
I don't know.
Estoy tan triste.
I'm so sad.
Están locos.
It's a loco. No crazy.
Ya, me duele mucho la cabeza, necesita ayuda.
My hip hurts and I need help.
Me gusta mucho el piso. I like flow so much. No sé nada.
I know nothing.
No quiero nada contigo.
I don't want nothing to do with you. Get away from me. Stop stealing.
Aléjate de mí, deja de gritar.
La rosa, coño, otra vez. ¿Qué quiero? Un juramento. pensamiento. Mi vida la rosa con el clavel. No me tires con rosa, allá va que tiene espinas. Tírame con violeta, allá va que son más finas. No me tires con rosa, allá va que tiene espinas. Que son más finas que allá va rosa con dalias. ¿Dónde irá mi negrita? Allá va que yo no vaya. Anda rosa con dalia, allá va que yo no vaya.
I dare you, from front, behind, boy I don't mind. Come test my wine. I dare you, I dare you. All night you're watching me in the party, boy. Every time I wine you're watching me, boomsy boy. Man, you're looking buzzzy every time I start. I know you really want to jam up on me. Well, tonight I'm in the mood. I want to wine and behave rude. So anything you want to do, I dare you, I dare you. Yes, tonight I'm in the mood. I dare you. If you wanna hold me around my waist, I dare you. Come and take a
Party at my house. Stop fighting. Ah, mad. Help me and talk to me. I want to dance and drink some water. Stop fighting. It's my party. Go out. Stop.
Dear Mum, I hope you remember me. I imagine your eyes. I imagine your smile. You said I was your sweet angel, but I didn't understood why you left me in foster care. When I got older, there's so many things I've done bad in the past that I didn't tell you. I've carried knives, got someone killed, taken drugs, got drunk. I tried to stop, it wasn't easy, but I decided to change and work with young people to get out of the streets. I felt guilty for what I did. If I had to go back in the past, I wish I didn't do all these things again.
Hello. How are you? You in for your job interview?
Yeah.
Good. good stuff.
The jumping continue in starting now.
¿Cómo te llamas?
My name is Toni.
My name's Tony too. Don't you?
What a coincidence. We're all tiny.
¿Cuál es tu color favorito?
That's my favourite colour. Oh,
¿Cuánto mascota tienes?
a cat.
And a dog.
Dog.
Me gustaría saber si te gusta andar en micro en Londres.
Yes! I love rides in the bus in London.
¿Cuál es tu profesión? ¿A qué te dedicas?
I never had to jump before, but after I'm shot, I needed to make a decision whether I wanted to keep on this bad life or move on and do something good with my life. I was involved in drugs and trouble when I was younger, but yeah. Now I want to work with children who are in the same situation as I was in, but now I want to help improve their life.
¿Qué te gusta hacer?
What do I like doing?
People. I like go feel me day.
I like monkeying with young people.
pensamiento. Eso es, compadre.
La rosa con el clavel, mi vida hicieron un juramento, mi vida hicieron un juramento, mi vida y pusieron de testigo, mi vida a un jazmín y un pensamiento, mi vida la rosa con el clavel. No te tires con rosa, allá va que tiene espina.
Hi, welcome back. At this point in the theatre, I would usually say a big round of applause. So maybe we can all give them a big round of applause from home, even though they can't hear it. Mine is one-handed and also more like deaf applause because I have both hands in splints. So if I bang them together, it doesn't have quite the desired effect. So Hannah, and the rest of Act Up, do get ready. What we're going to do next is have some questions. If you haven't got a list of typing showing on the right-hand side of your screen, go to the top left-hand corner and under View, you can see View Live Chat. And you can now type questions to the company. There's something coming up saying a huge round of applause from Danny. So before we go into the questions, I just wanted to, just explain a few things. You've just seen the film. It's being launched tonight on the website. It's part of a multimedia presentation that also includes an interactive online gallery. And there's been some short films made as well. You can see all of these things linked from the event page on our website. So go to the Making History Together 2020 Festival programme page, go down to the I Am Toni event page and everything will be linked from there. This project was originally due to be launched in March. You can obviously see from the filming it was largely created in 2019. Since then, the company have used their Zoom experience and created just a wonderful series of films. On our Together Unlocked show from April till August, they made a film for us every single week. All of those are embedded on our highlights and links page, but why not go straight to the Act Up Newham YouTube channel, where you can also see a range of other films. Some of the best films, of course, as Arwa said, they are a theatre company, first and foremost. So another thing you can see on the event page is profiles of many of the company members, and all of those have some footage from previous stage shows and indeed, of course, future stage shows. So we've been very grateful to that. One final word, you saw some company members on the films that haven't been able to be here tonight. Jade Amasempari has been on a course this autumn, and Paiza Malik, unfortunately, although she's been contributing to everything, has been unable to join us tonight. So all good wishes to Paiza and Jade, but we have the rest of us with us. So Hannah, I'm looking at some of the comments. And this is the first question I'm going to take, and it's from Jane Marjoram, and she says, bravo, thought-provoking. We are all Toni. Do you think that we all have both good and bad in us?
Great. Can we highlight Grace to answer that question? Grace, are you there? Grace? Oh, you've got to unmute yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my phone froze.
Ah, sorry. So the question was, can we have the question again, Ju?
Yes, we are all Toni. Do you think we all have both good and bad in us?
I mean, we all have good in us. I mean, some people have bad in them. It just depends.
So you think we all have good in us, but some people have bad. You don't think we all have good in us, and all have bad in us?
We do. It depends. It depends. It depends how we are in our times.
And that really came through. So I've got some more things. Applause, great film, huge round of applause, amazing, well done guys, excellent performance, well done everyone. Quite a lot of emojis. This is from Patty Thomas, who says to Arwa, well done Arwa, really enjoyed it. Leslie Hare says, wow, that was fantastic. So the next question is from Leslie, and it says, how long did you take to put it together?
Can we have hour to answer that question from Leslie? If we could spotlight hour. Hi, Hour. Did you hear the question?
Hello.
So the question was, how long did you take to put it together?
I would say a really long time.
What do you think took the longest?
The editing, because we had to do everything together, and it takes a long time.
So the editing took a really long time.
Yes, because Tom Rees also wanted to know how long you'd done that.
So I was right, the editing did take a long time, didn't it? Because we did it all collaboratively so that we would all make decisions together, which takes a long time, but has good results. And also, as Awa was telling us before, the filming, because it was a challenging process for us. So probably those things did take the longest, but I think we were sending ideas between the two companies for about 3 months before we started devising.
So
and
this
then we
question,
had a summer project where we, in 1 week, we came up with all the ideas for the story. And then after the summer, we did all the filming.
so this is a very relevant question now from Imogen. Did you enjoy learning about the Chileans and their culture? And would you like to visit them in person one day? And that is from Imogen and Ant.
Great. Could we have Glory Spotlight to answer the question?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hey.
So the question is, did you enjoy learning about Chile?
Yes.
What did you enjoy most about learning about Chile, Glory?
Because I enjoyed learning about Chile because I love seeing the new people on the YouTube, and I was feeling like going to the university in Chile, then I'll feel like doing drama there, then come back to visit London so I can visit you, Goslings and everyone, so I could do drama with you again, then do for poetry class.
Yeah, so out of everybody, Gloria is the one who most wants to go to Chile and even has incorporated it into his life plans. And I know you also really like the dancing.
Yeah, I like the dancing of the quacker. The quacker. I love dancing to the quacker. Then I was moving my bottom and everything. Then everyone knows that I'm a dancing quacker, yeah, and feeding in the show. Then that's why my quacker's very nice and quacker in my dancing.
Great.
I thought the quacker was really infectious. I loved the dancing in the wheelchairs. Can I just ask, who did the face paint, and is that traditional?
The face paint is not traditional. That was me. We were the Act Up has designed it. It was to more represent the good and the bad that Toni was choosing between.
I thought it was excellent. So I have 2 questions from Farah.
Can I just say, we also have a film on our YouTube channel which teaches you how to dance the quacker on Zoom. So if you're interested in what Glory's saying about the dance, you can look that up and be dancing the quacker at home.
And we'll try and embed that on the event page tomorrow as well. So I have 2 questions next from Farah. So the first is, have you picked up any Spanish words? And the second was, what was everyone's favourite scene?
Can we have hour for the Spanish words? Hour, what do you say in Spanish all the time now? Wait, unmute yourself first. Yeah.
My favorite word Esaloto. That means are you crazy?
So Our is now all the time telling everybody, not are you crazy in English, but in Spanish, I can't even say it, but Our says it really well. Say it again.
Esaloto.
There we go.
So before we go on to Farah's second question, there's a related question from P. Hillier, which is how long did it take for the cast to learn the translation from Spanish to English?
Can we have Pritesh to answer that question? Hey, Pritesh. Can you?
All right. Oh my God.
So you were very interested in learning Spanish, weren't you?
Yes.
But did we speak Spanish?
No.
No. So who did the translation for us? Who speaks Spanish in the group?
Chile.
Claudia. Claudia speaks Spanish. So our assistant facilitator, who can't be here today, actually is from Chile, and she worked originally with Los Inseparables years ago and still has that connection. So she did all the translation for us, which was really useful. So
But
although we did learn a few phrases, we didn't learn the translations.
But I was going to say most of the company, including Stera, who speaks English and Dutch, are actually bilingual at least, aren't they? Which I think is kind of typical of Newham. Almost half of our residents don't speak English at home. This is not a question, but a comment from Danny. I thought the film was brilliant. What a brilliant job you've all done. I'm watching from Plymouth in the southwest, and I'm going to tell everyone about the group and the film tomorrow. And Julie Newman, who's the chair of UKDPC, watching from elsewhere where I am, says, thank you everybody at ACT UP. That was marvellous and very impressive. What a strong message. And she'd also asked, how did you manage to work in 2 languages?
I think there was a second question from Farah to answer.
Yes, and I think as we've just got 2 minutes left, that might be a good one to end on, which was, what was everyone's favourite scene?
Great, so we're going to go to Stera first. So let me just stir in the spotlight. So Stera, what was your favourite thing? Your Stera? And it was meeting all the people. So you liked working with the people from Chile? Yes, but what was your favourite scene in the film? So Toni, when Toni was sleeping and he wakes up, you like that bit at the end? Great. Thank you, Stera. Do we have time to ask the other ACT UPers?
We certainly do.
Great. Can we go to Pritesh?
Oh my God.
Yeah. What was your favourite scene from the film?
I think Ava is sad.
When Our was sad and the puppets were her thoughts.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. And
I like it.
You like that bit, yeah. Can we have Glory?
Yeah.
So Glory, what was your favourite scene in the film?
Scene in the film is the scene in the film. What I like is everybody of us.
So you liked all of it?
Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
You have one favourite bit of the film?
The Spanish.
You liked doing the Spanish bits. Great.
Yeah, Spanish bits.
Can we have Grace?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
So what was your favourite scene in the film?
My favourite scene in the film was where when we did the quacker.
The quacker. Yes.
Yeah.
And we have Our left to ask.
Sorry. I really like the no knife, no fighting. I didn't Yeah.
I really liked that with the movements in the park as well. That's what
Yeah. That was a windy day.
it was a freezing day, and the actors did so well to be so professional. It was so cold. Every time we watched the film, we were remarkable. Oh, that was so cold. Yeah. Thank you, Ella. And that's everybody. Have I missed anyone out? No.
Well, that's just as well, because it's 1 minute past 8. So it just remains for me to say thank you so much to Chris Burrow, our sign language interpreter, to Global Real-Time Captioning, who've been doing our captions, to Josh Surgener, who's doing our technical side, to our funders, Arts Council England, National Lottery Community Fund and National Lottery Emergency Fund. And of course, the biggest thank you of all to ACT UP Newham and Los Inseparables in Chile. All of this information and the links will be on the event page tomorrow. So it just leaves me to wish you a very safe journey to your kitchen or